Welcome to Cord Cutting Today for July 25th, 2019. This is the show where I give you a quick look at some of the biggest things happening in the world of cord cutting right now and give you my opinion on them. If you want to learn more about these stories, in the show notes down below I'll put a link to each story. You can read them for yourself, come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you are new here, hey, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we're doing. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. Well, let's dive into it because a lot's been happening. But first, a quick deal reminder. Amazon Channels still has many popular cord cutting streaming services on sale for half off, including Starz, Showtime, CBS All Access, PBS Kids, and more. This deal is good for the first 3 months and then full price thereafter. Now, if you want this deal, you need to hurry because it ends on Sunday. I know I've talked about it before, but with it coming up, just want to remind everybody, it ends on Sunday. Link in the show notes down below to find the full list of services out there. All right, first story up of the day. Comcast has just reported they've lost 224,000 subscribers. 224,000. This is on top of the 778,000 lost subscribers that AT&T reported yesterday, which means over 1 million TV customers have canceled cable TV in the 3 months during the second quarter of 2019. That is very crazy. That is a lot of people. That works out to over 11,000 subscribers canceling Comcast and AT&T every single day for the TV service. Comcast did see a 200-some thousand jump in internet-only subscribers. But again, you know, many of these cable TV subscribers had internet before. We're probably seeing some of that 700-some thousand subscribers from AT&T, instead of going with AT&T internet, transferred over to Comcast internet. Well, the thing that will be very interesting to see here is when things like 5G home internet starts rolling out, when things like SpaceX's home internet starts rolling out. That is when I think cable companies will feel the most pressure, because right now they're very happy with the idea that, hey, if you don't get TV, you don't get internet from them. But what will happen when internet is now available through other places? When I can get internet from 5G from Dish or from SpaceX or from Verizon or from all these other providers, that's something that's definitely going to put a big stake in their future plans. Now, Comcast and others have been very successfully trying to diversify wireless customers and more. So we'll have to keep a close eye on this and see what happens with it. But if this current trend continues, that will bring the total losses of AT&T and Comcast over the next year to 4 million customers. Now, the good news for Comcast is AT&T's losses were bigger, which put Comcast now as the #1 TV provider in the United States. AT&T fell from the #1 to the #2 when you added all of AT&T's properties together: DirecTV, DirecTV Now, UBS TV, etc. So Comcast now the largest TV provider in the United States. The downside is they're losing TV customers, but they are making it up a little bit with internet customers. I'd love to know, did you cancel Comcast? If so, why? Leave me a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you on what drove you to drop Comcast or AT&T in the second quarter of 2019. Was it the price hikes this year on their TV service? Was it maybe a service like Hulu or YouTube TV, etc. started offering something that worked for you? I'll love to hear from you. All right, next up, Sling TV announced that they are adding over 300 free shows and movies to their app. So if you're a Sling TV subscriber, you're just going to find a new channel that will include a ton of FilmRise content, including shows like 30 Rock and more will be on there. Now, if you're not a Sling TV subscriber, you have a Roku, you can still install the Roku channel for Sling TV, log in and just click Watch as a Guest, and you'll find actually free ad-supported content on Sling TV, which is a pretty cool feature. Sling TV has really been working with the goal that, hey, we want to be your repository, much like Amazon Channels. Sling TV allows you to subscribe and manage subscriptions to places like NBA League Pass and CuriosityStream. But they're also like, hey, we want to drive people who are not Sling TV subscribers to also use our app. And it seems like they've done that now by partnering with FilmRise to bring a huge catalog of FilmRise content to Sling TV. The great thing here is the fact that this also means that it's one less app that you need to jump around to. Now with everything being in the Sling TV app, if you're a Sling TV subscriber, you don't necessarily need the FilmRise app to go out there and access a ton of free content with it. So keep a close eye on that. I'd love to know, have you watched the FilmRise channel on Sling TV? What do you think of it? How important is this move from Amazon and Roku and Sling TV and others to say, hey, we're going to try to bring everything into a single app? Where in the past you would have an app here and an app there. You know, Amazon wants to say, hey, manage your subscriptions through us to get all this stuff. Sling TV is doing the same. The Roku channel's doing the same there. Subscribe to things like Starz and Showtime, not from their own app, but manage it from a single app. I find this incredibly helpful. I love the fact that I can just have one login, one username, one payment method, manage all my subscriptions from a single place. Have you taken advantage of this? Do you find this to be useful to you? I'd love to know what you think of it. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think of that. All right, next story up of the day. We've heard a lot of talk about the Nvidia Shield coming to, or having a new release, an updated version of Nvidia Shield. Early reports in June pointed to this being a minor update, maybe a new processor, some minor changes in the back end. And now it's being reported, or now it's been reported, that a Nvidia Shield has passed through the FCC. And now with the FCC approval, it looks like there's a new Nvidia Shield on the way. Again though, our early reporting looks very similar to the original Nvidia Shield that's currently on the market right now. The only difference seems to be the fact that it has an updated processor. The remote in the FCC filing looks very similar to the remote that they have now. So we'll have to wait and see. It's not unusual for a streaming player like Nvidia Shield, who's been on the market for a few years, to get a minor update to address maybe new components coming on the market, maybe the processor they've been using is not available at the price point they want it, so they're going to switch to a different processor. So I'd love to know, what would you like to have in the Nvidia Shield? What changes would you like to make of the Nvidia Shield? Would you like some changes to the remote, maybe to the game controller? The processor, the RAM, the specs on the actual Nvidia Shield itself is more than sufficient to run pretty much everything on the market. Maybe they could add 8K. It's not really 8K content streaming right now. So I would be very interested to see what they're going to do with this. We do know, though, now we can confirm that there is some type of Nvidia Shield refresh. Just because it was passed through FCC doesn't even mean it will come out this fall. Though I think that's probably the most likely situation. It could be delayed until like CES of January next year. But let me know. I'll love to hear from you. I'll love to see what you think of the new Nvidia Shield. And leave me a comment of what you would like to see in it. All right. One of the things that's been most common is the battle between live TV streaming services. Which one's the largest? Subscriber numbers, we'll have to wait until Dish reports their numbers soon, but the numbers we have right now say that Sling TV is the largest. But it's maybe not necessarily the fastest growing. Hulu's been reported to getting close to being the number 2 streaming service on the market right now. DirecTV Now has dropped down to number 4, maybe reportedly behind YouTube TV, Hulu, and Sling TV. But we now have a little bit of a report that may give us an idea of at least who's growing. Now, unfortunately, some of these services like YouTube TV and Hulu have stopped reporting their subscriber numbers, or at least with YouTube TV, they never did. Hulu did at one point and has since stopped releasing subscriber numbers, but analysts have ways to look at this. There's many factors they take into account to see who's growing, who's not, especially for publicly traded companies like Google and so on. So when we look at this, one of the things they look at is surveys, right? We're going to go out and we're going to survey 3,000-4,000 people. We're going to have a professional sample. We're going to look at what they pay for and try to determine based on that. The other thing they do is look at publicly available data. Now, we have had times in the past where, like, Discovery CEO at one point a couple years ago came out and said that I think it was PlayStation Vue had 400,000 subscribers, and it was right there. So we could say, yeah, Discovery probably knows that because they have they're getting paid by the subscriber, so they know how much that each service is paying them. But the other way, and this was done by UBS, which is a very well-respected research firm, and they looked at the available public downloads. They looked at, hey, if a service is bringing in new subscribers, it's probably bringing in new downloads, right? So we can look at which service is being downloaded the most to see, hey, which service is attracting the most people to test it out, to use it, and more. According to UBS's study, YouTube TV is the fastest growing service right now, with 47% of downloads in this market of these services being YouTube TV. PlayStation View was the slowest. It downgraded, actually. It dropped down to just 3% of the market. I think it was at 9% this time last year. So this means that YouTube TV is seeing strong growth. Now, does that mean they're necessarily ahead of Hulu? It could be. We don't have firm numbers on that. We'll have to wait and see what Sling TV reports. Did they continue their growth? Did they slow down at all? Sling TV had seen a slowdown as YouTube and Hulu and all the other services put pressure on them. So I'll have to know, which service do you subscribe to? Which one do you think is the most popular? One of the things that, little side note, one of the things we can definitely say is when we ran surveys of our readers, YouTube TV was very popular. When we look at the action on like our Facebook group and our social media and so forth, what people are talking about, YouTube is one of the most popular out there, YouTube TV. Now, does that mean anything? Well, there is a certain level of credibility to the idea that when there's buzz, there's probably a fire, right? When you're seeing a lot of downloads, when you're seeing a lot of social media talk, that probably does mean that there's a decent amount of interest in it versus a service that is not getting that same buzz, which is rating in the downloads, it's falling. So I'd love to know what you think. My main complaint here with PlayStation View has always been the same. I know people say I'm a PlayStation View hater, but my complaint is the same. I think the name is hurting them. I think PlayStation View would be far ahead of where they are now if they would change the name or remove PlayStation. We often hear from people about, I would love a PlayStation View to get it, but I don't own a PlayStation, so I can't use it. So I got YouTube, or I got Hulu, or I got Sling TV, etc. So I'd love to know, how much of an impact do you think that's having? Let me know. I really do think that's a big impact. I think they could do a better job marketing. I think they could do a better job with the name. That would overnight, I think, revolutionize PlayStation View. All right, last story up of the day. Amazon and Roku control almost 70% of the U.S. market, according to Parks Associates. Parks Associates has long been one of the leaders in studying streaming and next-gen TV. Now they've released a report that says 70% of the United States market is dominated by Roku and Amazon's Fire TV. Roku's still in the lead. Amazon Fire TV did see a noticeable jump recently, but Roku also saw a jump in market share. This leaves Apple TV, Android TV, and Comcast to fight over the remaining 30% of the set-top box. Roku has one other leg up. They have the smart TV market right now. 1 in 3 smart TVs is a Roku TV. And that trails things like, I think it's Samsung and maybe Sony, or Samsung or LG, something like that. I'd have to look at that original report. But according to Roku, 1 in 3 smart TVs sold in the United States is a Roku TV. That's something that Amazon definitely cannot say. Amazon does have a smart TV. They're still kind of new to the market. They definitely don't have the market penetration since Amazon TVs are on Amazon and Best Buy right now, where Roku TVs are at Costco, and I think I even saw them at Sam's Club, and then they're on Walmart and Target and all over the place. You're going to find a Roku TV, including Best Buy. So I can definitely see how Roku's dominating this market. I can definitely see why people are very bullish on the future of Roku when it comes to looking at the smart TVs. So let me know, are you a Roku or are you an Apple TV or Fire TV camp? If so, why? Does it surprise you that Roku maybe doesn't have as big of a lead as you thought? Does it surprise you that Roku and Amazon dominate 70% of the market? Leave us a comment, let us know. I'll love to hear from you. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Later today, we'll be posting the podcast with Jess and I. We're going to do it live on YouTube at about noon Eastern today. We're going to be testing out doing the podcast live on YouTube, maybe take some questions as we go through it, and I'd love to hear from you. So join us noon Eastern this Thursday today, and we'll see if this goes well. We'll probably continue doing it Thursdays at noon Eastern live on YouTube. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. We'll see you later today for the podcast, and I'll be back tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and thank you for your support. Can't believe it, almost 82,000 subscribers.